Today we will be discussing about our favorite video games. Video games are more than just a good way to kill time. They are also a way to escape reality and let us live in worlds from our imaginations. Without further ado, here are the top 5 games from each of us, starting with some honorable mentions.
You need many things for a conviction, young Phelps.
Female dumped the end of Hill Street.
Hard evidence.
Come on, we have a clue.
A motive.
What's in it for you, Cole? More glory?
And best of all, a confession.
War never changes.
Number 5 on my list is Fallout New Vegas, a game which came out not from Bethesda, but rather Obsidian Entertainment. The difference with New Vegas compared to some of the other Fallout games that made it so enjoyable for me was the fact that not only did it have the traditional Fallout stuff of having to talk to different characters, random NPCs with stupid side quests that you may or may not want to do, but just the New Vegas area itself was very fun to explore. You had all sorts of great areas based off the actual Las Vegas, and getting to New Vegas itself was a treat as there were many different casinos to explore. New Vegas had a lot of different opportunities as far as your character as well. You could have a character who was dumb as bricks and really gave some interesting dialogue options. Or you could have a character with a tongue of silver that could just talk their way out of anything. Either way, New Vegas presented hours of fun that to this day I still go back and play to see if there's any missions that I may have missed in previous playthroughs.
The game was rigged from the start.
Let's say we have one last dance.
Injustice. Now, while I've never been good at Mortal Kombat type games or fighting games in general, the story in this game compels me. The game also had some of my favorite comics. The sequel was also phenomenal, however, the original takes this spot. A fighting game I actually wanted to play and finish to see what happened. It's a game I can go back and play over and over again.
Hey, Mario!
When it comes to legendary video characters, there aren't many more famous than Mario himself. There are many options when it comes to the Mario series, but for me, nothing takes the cake, quite literally sometimes, as much as Super Mario 64. Of course, you start as Mario and you play through the game, trying to get to the castle and save Princess Peach, who has promised you a cake. But along the way, you encounter all sorts of different enemy types and bosses that had never been seen in previous Mario games. It was the first adventure in 3D for the Plumber, and it was one of the greatest entries in the entire series, and it was probably the first game I ever even played on Nintendo 64. I had so many great memories of it as a kid. Getting all 120 stars was my ultimate goal, and unfortunately it took me years to do so. But regardless, once you hit those 120 stars and you see Yoshi, you've defeated Bowser for the final time, it's all worth it in the end. Not to mention, Mario 64 has a wonderful soundtrack that I could listen to this day.
Here we go!
There's a lot of people back on Earth dying while we gather our strength.
The Mass Effect 2 trailer during the Super Bowl commercial caught my attention years ago. However, Mass Effect 3 goes in my number 4 slot. While the ending was not favorable, the gameplay, story, and the DLC made up for it. The DLC gave us the Leviathans, who the Reapers were based off, a playable Prothean, going back to Omega and Arya T'Loak, and of course the Citadel that gave us closure for our crew members that you kept alive during the series. By far the most compelling part to Commander Shepard's story, each time you play the series, you can change the story based in your previous actions and dialogue, and this was by far my favorite from the trilogy.
This is it, isn't it?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
While Worm's favorite Mass Effect game might be Mass Effect 3, I have to go with Mass Effect 2 in this spot. And even though the DLC wasn't as strong as Mass Effect 3, I felt that the story and the sub-stories were the best in the series. Mass Effect 2 also presented the ultimate suicide mission as the end of the game, something that was unheard of for a lot of games at the time. If you played through incorrectly, you could kill off everybody in your crew, including yourself. Mass Effect 2 also presented loyalty missions, which was another big addition to the franchise. The best part about these loyalty missions were the fact that they really gave you more character development and allowed you to connect with these characters more on a personal basis than you might in a regular video game.
What can I say? Pokemon, as you will see on this channel, has been a big part of my gaming life. For most of my life, I only played Gen 1. It wasn't until 2012 I was introduced to Gen 5, and in 2013, Gen 6 came out with X and Y, which caused me to go back and play a lot of the generations I missed. Even after playing all the new games with all the new features and better graphics, Pokemon Yellow still comes on top. When it first came out, I was enthused to be able to play a similar path to the anime. Your partner Pikachu followed you, like in the anime, and you were able to get all 3 starters in the game rather than having to choose one. Jessie, James, and Meowth make an appearance as Team Rocket, which is still the best villain team in the Pokemon series. While my favorite Pokemon is not in this generation and the remake for Gen 4 are hopefully on their way, they are a close second in the series. Pokemon Yellow will always be my favorite, and while Let's Go was fun and innovative, they do not outclass the original.
Cowering in the dirt, thinking, what?
My number 2 choice is Halo 3. Why Halo 3, you might ask? There's so many games in the Halo series. Well, Halo 3 is, and always will be, at least to me, the greatest game in the series by a mile. Halo 3 introduced so many new mechanics that made the series great while maintaining the traditional experience that cultivated in Halos 1 and 2. The greatest thing about Halo 3 was the multiplayer. I spent hours upon hours in my college life on Halo 3 multiplayer with my best friend, whether it was 2 vs 2 or joining a team for Team Slayer. The best part about Halo 3, though, was just the community. Even though there were some people that didn't necessarily make the gameplay that fun when we were online, a lot of people contributed a lot of fun stuff that you could download, whether it was special made maps, whether it was different game types. Halo 3 to this day still lives on as a game that I can go back and play at any time.
Who hasn't wanted to play as Batman? Well, in 2009, Rocksteady did just that when they released Arkham Asylum. This game was, and the series still is, the best superhero video games to date, playing as the Dark Knight in one of the most iconic locations in Gotham City. The voice acting is phenomenal, getting the iconic Kevin Conroy to voice Batman, legendary Mark Hamill to voice the Joker, and Tara Strong as Harley Quinn. Grappling hooks, batarangs, explosive gel? What more can a Batman fan ask for? Even playing in detective mode to explore what it truly is to be Batman. Alongside Harley and Joker, you got to fight villains such as Victor Zsasz, Bane, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, and solving the Riddler's puzzles and trophies. It also has a lot of Easter eggs to a ton of Batman's allies and rogues. While the sequels had more villains and bigger maps, this game's story, in my opinion, was the best. It's a game that lets you say, I'm Batman.
My number 1 game, I've chosen Yakuza 0. The Yakuza series has 8 titles just in the main series alone. That's not counting spin-offs such as Dead Souls. In the US, of those 8, 7 have been released, with Yakuza 7 hopefully coming out later this year in 2020. Yakuza 0 was the 6th game released in the series, but it takes place before all the other games, as it is a prequel based in the 1980s. The main characters are Kazuma Kiryu, the series protagonist, and Goro Majima, one of Kiryu's biggest allies and enemies throughout the majority of the series. The best part about this is you get a backstory on both characters, and while Kiryu is fun to play as like most games, getting to play as Majima is a heck of a treat. Not only that, but you also get 8 different fighting styles, 4 for each person, and allows you to play the game differently as you choose. The best part about Yakuza 0 is that not only does it have the traditional strong story with a serious tone that most of the Yakuza games have, but it also presents some of the wackiest side missions in gaming history. Trying to say these with a straight face will be hard, but some of these missions include stopping a giant man named Mr. Shakedown from stealing your money, helping a naked man find out about some of the hottest girls in the area, and even trying to help a little boy buy, well, let's just say adult content from a vending machine.
Quite possibly the best game ever, and definitely the best in the Zelda timeline. While Breath of the Wild has been a great game, the story holds nothing to Ocarina of Time. Ganon was one of the most menacing villains of the series, and this adaptation of him was iconic. The Gerudo King takes Princess Zelda hostage while young Link is called upon by the Great Deku Tree and tasked to try to stop this evil from taking over Hyrule. After fighting in trials and getting the 3 spiritual stones, Link opens the Temple of Time just to be thwarted by Ganon. After waking up 7 years in the future and finding the sages to collect the 6 medallions to reverse what Ganon had done to the kingdom with an epic showdown. With some of the best dungeons and bosses in the franchise, and at the time creating an amazing game that had inspired other games and revolutionized gaming in general. Ocarina of Time definitely deserves this spot at number 1 on my list, if only they make a remastered version for the Switch.
Those are some of our favorite video games. What are some of yours? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Transfer Kings channel for more content. And make sure to ring that bell for more notifications.